But this meeting isn't even about the company. It's not about the people that have walked across the stage. It's ultimately about you. Precious you. You and your beautiful family. And you changing your life. And I just wanted to remind you before I get started that you were born to do something great with your life. Can I get an amen to that? Say yes. Like you were. Like you were. That little girl, that little boy that was running around, not knowing what's going to happen to his life. Maybe coming in here and everything's not going great in your life. Maybe people think you're crazy to be here. Maybe you even spent money to be here you don't have for some of you, which I relate to. In fact, I've spoken in this arena more than 70 times in my life. I'm definitely the all-time GOAT of speaking at MGM Grand Arena. I can tell you that. I've also attended meetings in this arena where I sat way up in the rafters there and nobody knew my name. And I got you. And I wanted to walk across the stage and somebody know my family and know my family to be proud of me and for me to change my family tree forever. So what I'm going to talk about today is the things I did to do that. But I want to remind you of something. I used to think sitting up there that I was way far away from changing my life. Like it was 20, 30 years away. And because I thought that, I kept keeping it there. If you believe it's that far away to change your life, you will act in accordance with that belief and you will always keep your dreams that far away. But what if that's a lie? What if that's not true at all? What if the truth is you're one recruit from changing your life? You're one decision away, one moment, one speaker, one book, one something, one meeting, one new thought, one new emotion away from completely changing your life. What if it's that? And I'm going to prove to you that it's that. And I'm going to prove to you that you're not as far away as you might think you are. Do you want to know how? Yeah. No, you're very quiet. Do you want to know how? Okay. That's what I expected when I came out right there. You're a lot closer than you think you are, girl. Like, way closer. How many of you feel like maybe you're at the stage right now where like maybe you're kind of faking it until you make it? Anybody like that? Say yes. Okay. I'm going to embarrass myself. See, I think it's easy to walk out and people go, oh, this guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He owns all these jets. He's got an island, blah, 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 blah. Well, I do. But here's the dig. But when I was sitting up there, the time I was in this arena, I'm going to be honest with you, you wouldn't have wanted to sit by me because I wasn't smelling real good. I came out, shared a room with 7 other dudes. And I was eating in these buffets all week, like $3 a day to eat. And by the way, at that time,
yo, Big Cloud, what's up, man?
Off in my house. Actually, I'd lost my house.
How you doing, my man? Thanks, buddy.
Off in the apartment I was now living in with my new
Thanks, my man. Thanks
bride.
for being here, man.
And then about a week after that, I had the water turned off, and we went 2 months with no water. Now I don't know if you've ever done that before. But you don't have any running water. You can't cook.
Thanks for being here, man.
You can't brush your teeth. In fact, every morning we would get up at this apartment complex that we were at, and my wife and I would walk down the stairs to the outdoor swimming pool, and they had one shower there with no curtain on it, and I would hold a towel up while my new bride took a shower
why
and brushed
can't you
her
see
teeth,
anything
and then
here?
I would switch, and she would hold the towel up while I did it, and then we had to walk back up those stairs. I was completely ashamed, completely emasculated, and I was living a nightmare having to go out and sell a dream trying to recruit people.
I don't know what happened there.
So I know
what's
exactly
up, buddy?
what
Yo,
that's
man.
like.
Yeah, buddy. I am, man.
There,
Thanks,
hey, man.
man.
You're going to own an island.
Thanks, homie.
You're the number 1 show in the world. You're going to have a new show on NBC. Millions of people are going to listen to you. The number 1 speaker in the world. I'm like, yeah, man, I would just like to shower. And to this day, not every day, I'm not going to lie to you, not every day, but I have a lot of blessings in my life. But to this day, about 3 or 4 times a week, it did not happen this morning. I was hoping it good so I could honestly tell you that it did, but it didn't. But about 3 mornings a week, the most grateful moment of my week is when I turn the shower on and the water comes out and hits me in the face. And I just say, thank you, Lord. It's small things like that, right? So, in fact, I'm going to completely embarrass myself and reveal some things I don't reveal very often because I just feel at home here. So I was building a business and I thought, man, I have to look successful. No one's going to take me seriously. Now, I'm old, so most of you don't know what this is, but I was driving at that time a Honda CRX, okay? Some of you know what that is. The rest of you just Google it. Just Google it. But I'm driving a Honda CRX. Let me tell you about this Honda I was driving, okay? I had taken it to an appointment to recruit somebody, and while I was in their house and they said no, someone robbed my car. Back in those days, you would steal like the radio. But the radio, in fact, the radio was definitely worth more money than my actual car was. But the actual thief stole the passenger seat to my car. And just think about it for a minute. How specific of a criminal are you that you were in the hunt for a Honda CRX passenger seat? Now, I don't know what happened to his, but somehow he needed mine really bad. So I come out to my car. I didn't make the sale. I was hoping I had enough gas money to get home. I'm like, I don't know if you ever had this feeling, but ATMs only spit out 20s. And I'm like, Lord, please let there be like 21 bucks in there so it'll kick me this 20 so I can get gas.
That's awesome,
and then
buddy.
there's no passenger seat. I got in my car and I thought, that's
Dude, I'm
it.
looking forward to it, man.
I'm out.
Yeah, buddy.
This is not for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to
They're more
Aztec too
motivated than me
sometime soon. Not
anyway.
this week, though. I'm traveling
They
this
stand up
week.
for every
But
damn speaker, even if they suck. I don't even know who the good ones are. Everybody gets a standing ovation. I'm like,
We
I
will
don't
be back
stand
at
you.
that.
You were no good, right? I'll stand for the good one. I don't get this. Everyone's
100%.
excited. Everyone's got name badges on. Everyone's hello.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, and I'm like, I'm not that guy.
yeah,
And
man,
I'm
I'll take you,
failing.
man.
Some of you probably relate. You're like, some of
Goose
these
is
ladies
doing
are
the
really
speed
wired,
loader
and I'm not quite on that
DLTKs.
level of wiring yet.
People
Right?
not to like
You know what I'm talking about.
pulling people
Right.
back in. Oh yeah,
You know
for
exactly
sure, man.
what the hell I'm talking
Always,
about.
buddy.
Right
Always,
now,
man.
all of you, when you roll like that, is the
Love
crazy
it.
one right over there. Like her. He's talking about you, lady. You don't know it's you, but it's you. So anyway, the guy steals my car, steals the seat, and I'm like, I gotta get a car. I need a Mercedes. So there's a thing in the day called a penny saver, and I'm looking for a Mercedes. Now, I got no money. In fact, I'm gonna tell you what I had. I had actually made a little bit of a comeback, but it was about 3 months later. I had saved $6,000 from not having 20 in a bank. And I'm like, now I'm gonna buy a Mercedes. Except all of them were like 60 grand. So I'm reading all these ads for the Mercedes. 60 grand, 50 grand, 40 grand, 45,000. About the sixth one down said, $6,000 Mercedes, parentheses, kinda. And I'm like, tell me more about this kinda. And as I read it all the way down, it was a Mercedes-Benz kit car. Let me tell you what a kit car is. It ain't a Mercedes. What this thing was a Chrysler LeBaron with a Mercedes body on it. And what they do in kit cars, they weld the body to the car. It's a true story, nothing's exaggerated here. They weld it to the car. The problem is, a Chrysler LeBaron is 2 feet longer and has a back seat than the actual Mercedes. So if you don't know a Mercedes when I'm driving, you'd be like, hey man, nice Benz. But if you do know a Mercedes, you are laughing your ass off at this person driving this car. But I'm like, look, I gotta get what I gotta get. So I drive down, I meet this lady in Dana Point. Not gonna lie to you, Dana Point, hey, you're my neighbor. I live there, I live kind of close to there, I'm not gonna tell you where, but I live pretty close to there. So, and I meet this
Yo,
lady.
buddy, that's great to hear. Hope you're doing well,
Pretty sure
man.
there might have
Thanks,
been maybe a little methamphetamine involved in her life at the time. And she takes me through the car. And she's like, look, I'll just be honest with you. The thing's 2 feet too long. The heat runs full time. The inside's a LeBaron. You're going to have a heater blowing on you all the time in Southern California. I'm like, I can deal with all of that. I'm thinking, how am I going to sell my team on the fact that this is real? I'm like, I know. This is a hybrid, first ever hybrid. I'm going to call it a hybrid vehicle. They're going to think I'm a baller. Everyone thinks I'm making a bunch of money. Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. And so I go, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $4,500 for it. She goes, deal. I give her the $4,500, true story, and she goes, one last thing I should probably have told you. And I'm like, there's more. This isn't a real Mercedes. It's welded on there. The heat blows full time. I got all of it. She goes, well, it's actually not welded on there. I say, well, how is it on there exactly? Ma'am, Miss Meth, how's it on there? And she goes, I'm not kidding you. She goes, well, I go, I could not hear what you're saying through your grill there. Do it again, please. Velcroed. What? What did you just say? It's Velcroed on there. I just gave you money for a Velcroed fake Mercedes. Is that what you're telling me? Yes, you did. And by the way, one other thing, when you drive out of here, you need to be very careful when you pull up the stoplights. If you stop too soon, the front left headlight will fly out into that intersection on you because the Velcro is loose on the left headlight, just FYI. There's the ad. Kit car for sale. Up for sale or trade. She was asking a little bit more at that time. Chrysler LeBaron convertible, 1988, 2.2 liter turbocharged kit car. There you go, in case you were wondering whether I was lying. I want to explain to you a scene. See, I have, I got about 10 million total followers on social media. I've never run an ad. I just started on it about 6 years ago. Forbes said I was the #1 fastest growing business person in the history of social. And I would have been way bigger back then. Like way bigger. Way bigger if there were cell phones. Let me tell you what's happened to me more than 100 times in my life. Mr. Global Express, own islands, rich guy. Let me tell you what's happened to me. I pulled up to intersections too quickly. And that headlight has flown off into the intersection more than 100 times. I have gotten out of a car. Imagine you're at a light watching some dumbass get out of his car in a Men's Warehouse suit, and I'm in the middle of an intersection stopping 4-way traffic to pick up my own freaking headlight, that then you see me run back to my car and Velcro back onto my car and then get back into my vehicle. Imagine if you were filming that crap. I would be the most viral man in the world right now. 33 or 4 of those times, I shut the door too hard and it fell off into the intersection. I kept that car for 3 years. In fact, my 3rd year driving that car, I made $770,000. Saving every dollar I made, which is one of the principles of getting wealthy, is saving the money you make, right? In fact, the 2nd year it got stolen and the thief got a mile from my house and just left the car with the keys in it once he figured out what it was. I kid you not. By the way, I'll let you pick. One of these two is my actual freaking car. Which one do you think it is? Just say blue or silver. Say it. Blue's my car, huh? Blue? Most of y'all say blue. Let me tell you which one's my car. It's silver. By the way, here's how you know. Look at the freaking left front headlight. See the big gap there? That's where the Velcro was loose. You can pull that down. Y'all need to pay closer attention to these stories. So there you go. Now, if I can go from there to where I got, you could most of you probably don't have your water turned off. Most of you are probably not currently driving a car that is Velcroed together. Am I right about that, yes or no? Okay, so if I can go from there to almost $1 billion net worth, so could you. If I can go from there to reaching millions of people, so could you. So how'd I do it? You want some how-tos, yes or no? Okay, number 1, I decided I was one decision away and one recruit away from changing my life. I actually did. By the way, any of you mothers in the room, you've already proven it. The birth of that baby, bam, changed your total life, right? If you actually love the dude you're with, meeting that dude changed your life. If you're with a total dumbass, that changed your life the other way, right? So decisions shape our destiny. And today we're going to make some of those decisions. I'm going to help you make some of those decisions. So here we go. A couple things I've learned about being in business. Number 1, you have to become evangelical about your cause. Let me prove it to you. Take a look at these people. I just think these are people to take a look at. We can go back up to the PowerPoint. God, I look really dehydrated. Holy smokes. Need a little water. Anyway, what do these people have in common? Steve Jobs, Oprah. Put me next to Oprah just because it looked good. Kris Jenner, a neighbor. Elon, Rachel, Andy Frisella, Mother Teresa. I just put them next to each other because I think that's funny. Mark Zuckerberg, Martha Stewart, DJ, who's on my show next week, by the way. And we're going to work out together. You can see that on Instagram. And then MLK, my hero. What do they all have in common? What do all these people have in common? Let me tell you what they all have in common. They're all evangelists for their cause. What's an evangelist? Somebody who converts others, especially by public preaching, for their cause. You got to become cause. You got to get around you, and they get a sense you really believe in the spirit and the cause and the crusade of what we do at Arbonne. That we change people's lives, not just with our products, but with our opportunity. We have such diverse product set, but we also have an opportunity. When they get around you, they got to feel something. Remember this, you are always making people feel something. Always. They're always, I had a guy pick me up yesterday, big fan, guy's a fan of mine, picks me up. I mean, he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. And I said, hey man, let's talk. We stood outside for about 10 minutes and talked, the driver. Why? I know he's feeling something from me, right? The gentleman backstage, same thing. Guy interviewed me on TV today, starts the interview in tears because I've made him feel something in his life. So you're always making people feel something. When they get around you, they got to believe you believe it. Now stay with me on something. Here's a mistake you make in trying to recruit and sell. It's subtle. This will change your life. You ready? Average recruiters and average salespeople are totally always trying to get people to believe what they're saying. Let me say it to you again. Average recruiters and average salespeople are always trying to get people to believe what they're saying. You're like, Ed, of course I am. If they don't believe what I'm saying, why would they participate in the business with me? They would. There's a subtle little distinction that's going to change your life. And you start thinking of it this way, it'll change you. See, great people that persuade aren't trying to get you to believe what they're saying. They're trying to get you to believe they believe what they're saying. I'm not trying to get you to believe anything I'm saying today. I'm trying to get you to believe I believe it. And that's the threshold of influence. I bought all kinds of things in my life I didn't understand. Trust me. Right? I bought this stupid watch right here that's a couple $100,000. I have no idea why the hell this thing is special, except someone told me it was. The dude that sold it to me really believed it. I'll take it. I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I call it an AP. It's like Audemars Piguet. I have no idea. People ask me what kind of watch you got. I'm like, check it out. You love it. Don't even know. No idea. So you don't have to get people to believe you. Have to get people to believe you believe what you're saying. That's what evangelical people do. When you're around them, listen to me, if you're building a team, even in your own way and quiet, you got to sell a big enough dream that the dreams of everybody you come across can fit inside the one you're selling. You got to sell a big old dream. As a dad, as a father in my family, my lives are going to do something great. We're going to kick butt. We're awesome. We're special. We're going to change the world. All right, Dad. No, Bella, you're a superstar, baby. Max, you're a champion. You're a gladiator. You're the greatest of all time. Constantly preaching, constantly lifting them up, constantly selling the dream. Even when you live a nightmare, you're making your money now. You will collect it later. You're making it now. Can you sell the dream when it's a nightmare? Can you sell the dream when it's average? And when you get around these people, now, what's the product we sell here? You can click, you can pull that down, please. Pull that down. That's my fault. I'll explain that picture in a minute. You have to understand what your product is. Your product is not any of the actual products you distribute. It's not stuff that makes people look or feel better. It's not the recruiting opportunity. Apple's products are not phones or Macs. McDonald's products are not hamburgers or fries. All great entrepreneurs understand the product that they actually sell, and they find a way to link it to what they do. I'll give you some secrets. You've never heard any of this stuff before. Here's the business you're actually in. You're actually in the love and happiness business. And if you sell love and happiness to people, love and happiness to people, love and happiness to people, and you connect it to this organization and your team, you will enroll more people who stay, enroll more people who do something special. You can give me an applause for that. Let me prove it to you. Let me prove this to you. The #1 seller of food in the world is McDonald's. Could we all have a consensus that this is not the healthiest nor the best food in the world? Right? They're also the #1 holder of real estate in the world. So they dominate the two of the biggest businesses on the planet, and they're not in either one of those businesses. You know what business they're in? The love and happiness business. In fact, McDonald's #1 selling meal is called wow, what does being happy have to do with eating food or hamburgers that clog your arteries? Nothing. So then they went further and said, you know what? We're going to have a mascot for a hamburger place. It's a freaking clown. What do clowns have to do with food? Nada. But you've bought it all your damn life. You bought it all your life. So they've created an environment and a feeling, because we're always making people feel something, and if they feel happy and loved, they participate. Oh, that's interesting. There's this other company that's done pretty well called Apple. The guy who runs that company is named Tim Cook. He's a neighbor of mine. The guys who founded it are named Jobs and Wozniak. Wozniak's a real good buddy of mine. I said, Woz, tell me about Jobs. I'm so interested in Steve Jobs. Why the heck did you guys even name the company Apple? Why would
Yo, what's up, Dick?
And Woz is almost like, he's almost like a savant. He might even, he's a different dude, right? So,
what's up, man?
Woz goes,
Thanks for being here, man.
we called it Apple because, first off, A was early in the phone book, so they'd find us.
Yeah, buddy, that's it. You're in business of happiness.
Because Steve said apples made him happy.
Feel good.
And he goes, Eddie, go to YouTube and watch.
Good luck on lifts, yo.
It was never
What's
about
up,
the
Dick?
gigs or the speed or the da-da-da-da-da.
How you doing, man?
You
I
go
hope
watch
that's
YouTube.
accurate. 4 finger. That's 2 fingers per hand against the wall handstand push up.
If you took her
I ran
home,
out
you'd
of
be happy.
characters to put in the title.
I keep telling
What's up,
I'm
buddy?
like, dude, stop selling the freaking pixelization on your phone and get back to selling love and happiness, dog. You're
All right,
missing
power
the boat.
tower
You should be
time.
dominating. Samsung's got more pixels. Who gives a shit? You got to sell love and happiness. They don't get this stuff. Right? Oh, by the way, McDonald's #1 thing is actually not hamburgers and fries. You know the #1 thing they sell? Coca-Cola. Here's what's crazy. Do you know what you get when you get a Coke? You get a Coke and, oh my gosh, this has like all been around me all my life and I've been missing it. I've been trying to recruit people with like the comp plan.
You have to renew your plates? I
I've
thought
been
there's
trying
more
to recruit
stickers.
people with how amazing our products are. Blah, 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 blah. Hey girl, you get on this team. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna believe in you and we're gonna love you. You're gonna be so much happier by being here. Yeah, you're gonna make a bunch of money. Yeah, you're gonna love our products, but your life's gonna change. Your life's getting ready to change. We're gonna do something big as a team here. We've got these purposes and this cause that I'm so excited about. I just want to share it with you. It's okay if you don't believe me, but I want you to believe I believe it. I want you to feel what I feel. It's okay if you don't do it. But man, we're going to do something great. We would love to have you. We'd be so happy to have you as a part of our team.
I guess they're just too ashamed to
people,
fucking,
and your life begins to shift and change.
They can't cut everything off yet. Too many
When my dad got sober, I was raised by an alcoholic dad. Most of you probably know that story. But when my dad got sober, it changed our family forever. And he came home from his first AA meeting. He goes, hey, I got you a job. He got me this job at this orphanage. I didn't know what it was. I walked in there. My dad said, you don't get to
Sour Stash or something, man.
Jerry Springer and
nice, way. That's great, man.
Reruns every single day on my couch. Get your butt down there to this orphanage. And I went down there, and I walked into cottage number 8, and my life changed. I was all about me before this. All about my ego and me winning and me getting wealthy and me. And when I walked in there, there were 12 boys, 8, 9, and 10 years old. And all of a sudden, I was responsible for being their father, their big brother, their best friend. I took them to school. I was there when by the way, their parents were all dead, incarcerated, or had actually molested them. My boys. And I was not qualified to be there. I'm not a psychologist. I did not have any of my own kids.
Hey, that's an improvement. I was able to hang for like
Not called a qualified.
20 seconds.
He qualifies the called. Right? And my boys, all my boys wanted, I figured it out, because they were just like me, having an alcoholic dad. All I wanted was someone to love me and care about me. Here's a big one that most people never get. Believe in me. Listen, if you believe in me, you will be one of 3 or 4 people in my entire life. Think about if I say that to you. Who's believed in you in your life? Who's that precious soul that when you were around him, your grandma,
get my legs up that high?
Your mama, your dad,
really?
a coach, a teacher, maybe you got one.
I'm using a lot of momentum, I'm not lying.
That believed in you. And when I make you think about their face, you cry. If they're here or not. Why do you cry? Because the most precious people in life truly believe in us. If you want to be a person who moves people, find a way to connect them. Why do people resonate, I think, with my stuff? I believe in people. I believe people can change because I watched my dad do it. I watched my dad live terrible my first 15 years. Alcoholic, bad dad, bad husband. One decision, 35 years of the best life I've ever seen. So these boys wanted someone to love them, care about them, believe in them, and just show them how to do better at something. All people are looking from you when you meet them.
Is that real dick?
That's
Nightmare mode, man.
Or Ed Milet, or
I
my
believe you
limo
guys.
driver last night, or you just love me, care about, please believe in me. Show me how to do a little better. The reason this opportunity is so magnificent is in one place you can do all 4 things. You can love people, care about them, believe in them, and you can show them how to live better. That's what makes this so special. It's right there in front of you. You got to be thinking those thoughts. They'd be so much more happier. My boys need it. By the way, what really qualified me was I know what it's like to deal with dysfunction. I know what it's like to deal with neglect as a child. And even though mine was different than theirs, I understood it. Remember this. You are most qualified to help the woman or person you used to be.
That's terrible, man. That's like fucking. That's terrible.
The person you used to be. That's why it's so important to grow. I used to not have hope, and I know you don't either, sister. I have hope now. I used to have nobody believe in me. I didn't believe in me, and now I do. I can help you. I used to not have any money either. I'm now making some money. I can help you. You're most qualified to help the person you used to be. In fact, my dad, I wrote this whole book called The Power of One More. It's the #1 book in the world right now. Right? It's awesome. And after I wrote it, I woke up about a month ago and I said, babe, I met my wife in kindergarten, by the way. I said, babe, I woke up crying and I don't cry. I said, babe, someone helped daddy. She went, what, honey? I said, wake up. Someone helped daddy. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, all this time when dad got sober and changed our family and changed, Someone helped him. Someone helped my dad get sober when he was on his last legs, when he was probably thinking of taking his life. Some precious soul stepped up and said, hey man, I love you. I care. I believe you can do this. Let me show you how to do better. I said, babe, she goes, that's amazing. I said, this one person has no idea. They've helped me change millions of people's lives. That one ripple effect of helping one person, I've reached millions around the world. And I go, babe, that's not even the most amazing part. What qualified them to help my dad was the very things they would think would disqualify them. The thing they're the most ashamed of, most embarrassed by. They were a drug addict and alcoholic at one time. When they didn't know that when they were driving drunk or stealing money from their family or lying all the time, that God could use that temporary pain to help my dad. See, a lot of you in this room think you're disqualified. Maybe you don't know my family. You don't know my insecurities. You don't know the things I'm ashamed of. You don't know how average. You don't know I've been invisible all my life. I've been invisible all my life. I'm disqualified. These are the very things that qualify you. Millions of people feel invisible. Millions of people are broke. Millions of people want hope. Millions of people lack confidence. You're qualified to help the person you used to be. This is what makes life so amazing. Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, on the other side of temporary pain, we get introduced to our other self. All pain is temporary. All pain is temporary. And if you can survive the temporary, on the other side you meet this other woman, this other man. And that other man can help the previous one when you meet them. That's the magnitude of life. My whole family's been changed by someone who did things they were totally ashamed of. If you want to impress somebody, show them how perfect you are. If you want to connect with somebody, show them your imperfections. Right? Say, hey, listen, a lot of recruiting is always, listen, we're rocking and rolling. We're changing the world. What if it's like, hey, I know right where you're at. You're a single mom and so am I. You want your daughters to be proud of you. You want them to look up to you someday. You're worried about paying your bills. You don't have a purpose. I know, me too. I found it. Let me tell you, I can help you. We can be happier. We will love you here. You starting to get this now? You starting to get it? Say yes. See, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet your other self. I'm going to tell you a story, and I've told this like 4 times, and I think this will be the last time I'm going to show this, because it hurts my heart when I do it, and it doesn't bring me joy, but I believe it'll change your life. So my dad, as I said, the first 15 years of my life was an alcoholic and a drug addict. He neglected us. Oh, by the way, there's a very insidious form of neglect. A lot of people go, oh, you were neglected, your dad was an alcoholic, or your parents got divorced, or they were broke. Can I give you the most insidious, subtle form of child neglect currently happening on the planet right now? Is a mother or father who's not in pursuit of their potential. You are, and your dreams, you are installing in your children that it's okay to settle. All your kids want. You know, you go to a recital or a volleyball game, if you got kids, there's 100 kids out, you see yours. Guess who your kids see? Mama. And they know when you're getting ready in the morning and driving them to school or whatever it is, they know whether you're happy or not. They know whether honey, you can be anything you want to be. Why aren't you, mama? Life is so amazing, you can be so happy. Why aren't you, mama? You can chase your dreams and go for it and take risks, and it's amazing. Why aren't you, mama? So you got to show them that you're in pursuit. You don't have to win. You got to show them you're chasing it. You got to show them you install that in your kids. Amen? Amen. So, my dad...
Swirl, you're looking pretty fucking cut there on Instagram, homie.
Go back up to
fucking ripped and cut.
I asked my team, grab a picture.
I think that was from a year ago,
but
even still, man, even today.
This is me and my dad.
You shared the one from a year ago. You shared like a few days ago.
My father was such an alcoholic. I've seen my dad in more than 50 fights.
I guess that's you're starting for that again, or you are at that. You look like you're bigger, but it's a good more mass.
Catholic Church, St. Dennis Catholic Church, Diamond Bar, California. Rainy day. My dad's driving a Datsun B210. I know you don't know what the hell that is. Okay? It was orange. It was 92 horsepower. This thing was fast. That's slow, by the way.
got sick for 6. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, I got sick too, man.
Donut line where everyone's like, "Amen, peace be with you,
better,
peace be
man.
with you."
I had a terrible
our Father. Some dude said something to my dad he didn't like. We got to the car.
Yeah.
My dad drives right back around the church.
I've been coming back slow, but I'm coming back. I'm feeling good now.
My dad goes, hey,
yeah, but in a couple of days, Dick and I are going to do a live stream.
I'm in the back seat. My sisters are in the back seat
with
me. This guy gets the car.
Roll a big fatty joint.
Boom! Headbutts this guy from inside his car, lays him out on the ground. He falls about 7 feet from the priest. And we just drive out of there like it's any other damn Sunday. And we went back the next Sunday. My dad's like, body of Christ, our Father, peace be with you. Just kicked this dude's ass in the parking lot the week before. So drunk, didn't even remember he did it. And I had 3 little sisters. I'm the oldest boy, I have 3 sisters. My dad would tell me, hey, if I'm gonna go for a while, this is when he would drink, you're the man of the house. 5 years old. I said, okay, Daddy. And I had to know, I have 2 gifts. I've made hundreds of millions of dollars with 2 gifts in business. Let me tell you what they are. I love people and I'm present with them. I'm present. I love them. I think that's why my show's pretty good. I can read people very well. And then I'm a good communicator and people feel things when I talk, or I touch them, or write to them. Those are my 2 skills. I don't have a high IQ. I'm 4th in my own family. I don't have to go into all that. Just trust me, I'm not, okay? I bought a Velcro car, for God's sakes, okay? Let's just be real. Let's be real. And so here's what I would do as a little boy. When my dad would get home, I had to immediately read who it was coming through the door. And so I would get by the front door. I'd hear my dad's car pull up, and I had to read who was coming through that front door. If it was drunk Dad, I had to get Mimi to take my other 2 sisters upstairs, and Mama, you need to go take a shower. I'm 5. If it's sober Dad, maybe we'll go have dinner and play some basketball in the backyard. So when he would walk through that door, 5 years old, I'm looking up at my hero. Is his hair messed up? What's he smell like? How's he walking? What's his physiology? Is his tie loose? I actually got to the point where I could tell by the sound the key made in the lock whether I was getting sober Dad or not. He was drunk. Mimi, go get Andrea and Eric upstairs. Mama, go take a shower. And then number 2.
Yo, what's up, Pleasant Officer? How you doing, dude? We good, man?
Say, change of state. Hey, Daddy, how was your day?
Life's good, dude. So you see me? How nice, man. Yeah, buddy. Dude, that shooting game. Oh my God. With the guns, the VR guns, dude. It's like GoldenEye, but it's not GoldenEye, but it's like a pirate. You run around with friends and you're a pirate. VR online. It's amazing. It's a really cool game, man. Especially the guns. You can shoot guns and shit.
Whatever you've gone through,
fucking ball and sword fights. Seriously, man, it's fucking sick.
Serve another human. I always say life is happening for you and not
to you. And you're like, stream. It just VR. You don't need VR to watch it.
Because at some point
it won't be VR, but it'll be
I just had a woman on my talk show of a new show coming out. 5 and 4-year-old little boy, husband killed in a car accident. He happened to be in the life insurance business. He happened to have life insurance. Their family's okay. And she comes on my show and I said, everything happens for us and not to us. It's pretty hard to process it. And I said, you just reached millions of people with your husband's crusade and message. You've changed millions of lives. God will always use your pain for good if you can survive it and get to the other side. I promise you on that. So, you can clap for that. So here's my dad. This is me and my dad. This is me and my dad at my wedding. You can at one point I was actually a pretty good looking dude, right? So was my dad. You're supposed to laugh at that like, no, you're still a good looking dude. Like, you don't even get the setup. I can't even get it when I lay it out there for you. Fixing to take this shirt and jacket off in about 1 minute. I'm totally kidding. It's a lie. It's a total lie. I just recorded this for all your damn boyfriends, number 1, just so you know. It's going on YouTube. All right, stop it. We can click. This is the 3 Ed Milettes. I'm Edward Michael Joseph Milette III. The dude in the middle there is my grandfather, Papa. Let me tell you what I come from, and I got to do this quickly. Here's what I come from. I come from alcoholics and drug addicts. Papa's dad died in a gutter when he was in 4th grade. He drowned in front of a bar.
No, man, it was like some VR.
Out of school to
some VR game that you could like shoot guns and stuff. It's crazy.
No education.
So cool. you're a pirate and you like jump on ships and
the beach of Normandy on D-Day.
kind of like N64 graphics, a little N64 graphic level, but HD.
About a week.
Kind of like Lego, like HD Lego kind of look. It was dope.
And I remember when it happened, I was so sad because he was that person who believed in me. He's the one that if I think too much, I'll cry.
It was like watching GoldenEye for the first time, realizing what first-person shooter could really be. That's what it was like watching his stream and realizing what VR could like be.
Every time another grandkid was born in our family, he would call me and go,
who would have known that the first is always the best? Sad face.
Someone believed in me. And I remember when that happened, thinking, wow, Dad's now in fucking seat, and I'm in Dad's seat. Just like that. Time flew by. Just like that. It was 25 years ago I was sitting up there. Just like that, it flew by. You're just here for a flicker of time. It seems like you got forever, but you don't. I'll prove it to you. This is me and my dad golfing. My favorite thing to do in life was golf with my dad. This day we were golfing, my dad was breathing heavy. Remember, my dad's a dude, even though he was sober. My dad is a dude. Deep voice like me, man's dude. That day's breathing heavy. I go, hey man, you need to pick it up. There's people behind us, let's roll. My favorite thing in life was to golf with my dad. Why? We both suck at golf. That's not why. Why? It was 5 hours with my hero and my best friend. This close to him. This close, man. We talk about deep stuff, life, politics, faith. We didn't agree on any of it, but it was my best friend. He knew everything about me. I knew everything about him. I talked to my dad every day. Every day. I was so proud of my dad. That day he was a little bit not feeling good, so I said, hey, you need to get in the doctor too. He goes, I ain't going to the doctor. I said, you're going to the damn doctor. I'm calling the doctor. He's a friend of mine.
Happy Monday. Yeah, happy Monday, dude. I think it's Tuesday, though, but
for 12 hours.
we'll go with happy Monday.
Football-sized tumor out of his chest. He had a rare cancer called liposarcoma.
It was happy yesterday.
And when he got it, they said, you got chemo and radiation. We didn't get it all. My dad says, here's the deal, Eddie. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll treat this thing one time. But I'm not going to become some burden to the family. I'm not going to get all wrinkled up. I'm not going to lose my hair. I'm not going to suffer in front of the family. I'll fight it once. If it doesn't work, I'm out. I said, okay, Dad. That led to 8 years of him fighting it. Surgery, chemo, radiation, proton. Surgery, chemo, new chemo, radiation, proton, surgery, another chemo. I said, Dad, when he was fighting it, why are you doing this? He goes, Eddie, you don't know the power of one more. You only know the power of one more when it can be taken from you. I'm doing this because maybe I can make it to one more wedding of a granddaughter. Maybe I'll get to go to one more graduation. Maybe I'll get to see my son give one more speech. Maybe I'll see what you're going to do in the world one more time. When you understand the power of one more can be taken from you, all of a sudden it's precious. I hate this. You can see my dad. I want you to see what my dad's wearing. That's his golf shirt and his glasses. My dad could no longer golf. And every time I would see him, I could see the pain on him. I could see the poison in his body. I could see I was losing him. But I got to tell you something. Something happened during those times that were beautiful. All of a sudden, this man became my priority.
As of
Before,
today,
if I was having a business lunch, the phone rang.
Tuesday was yesterday.
Go ahead.
Yesterday was Monday.
Now, I was in a coaching call with a man
Unless you're in Australia.
A very large country who I coach.
Yesterday was Monday.
A really large
today,
one.
Today,
and it rang
happy
and I
Tuesday.
said, sir, excuse me.
Oh, I mean Tuesday.
Comma
or period.
Moment, this was beginning to happen for
Monday
me.
was yesterday, I understand
that. How much I love my family, how the priority they were.
Twitch chat, man, I'm so bad at understanding.
My daddy would walk in, I knew I was losing him.
That's why I always read it out loud. Yeah, man, that's crazy, dude. As I tell you, 25 years, man. 25 years. Yo, sour.
Never
what is that?
complain.
Oh, heart. That's dope, man. It's dope emo.
It's alright.
Yeah, so I got it when I was 30. No, I didn't get it on release day.
Man, if you have parents alive,
oh, 37.
Parents that are still living,
yeah.
love them. Make them proud of you.
It's crazy, man.
Make them proud of you.
Isn't it funny how when you see something, you're like, wow, this is going to be revolutionary for the future, and then that ends up being the best thing ever?
You can see it on him now, can't you?
Pokemon and Ocarina of Time.
It's coming.
I guess Wind Waker or Breath of the Wild was supposed to be pretty good. Or Century of Misery.
That's my dad in the hospital.
But that music, man, that plot.
COVID, I would sit in the parking lot every day. I did my podcast from there.
Fucking amazing.
I did all my business meetings from there. My father was upstairs dying.
As you know.
I couldn't see him. I couldn't touch him. I couldn't hug him. We would talk all day, every day. I want you to see what my dad's wearing. My dad was a proud man. He got up every morning in the hospital, took a shower, shaved, and put his golf outfit on. He said, no one's going to see me in one of these hospital gowns. Every day. This day, that picture was taken an hour And in about an hour after that call, I got a call from my dad. His voice is now gone. My dad's on oxygen. He can't breathe. I said, what are you doing? He goes, my dad would sit there all day. I taught him visualizations. He would visualize me and him playing golf. And I said, Dad, where did we play today? He goes, Pebble Beach. I said, how'd you play? He goes, lights out. I shot 68. I'm like, that's awesome. I go, how'd I play? Terrible. Terrible. We had a good laugh. About an hour later, the phone rang again. All right, where do we play now? Come get me. Huh? Come get me. I can't, Dad. I can't. No, I want to go home. I said, Dad, you can't go home. We got to get you another steroid shot. You're coming back again, Dad. We got it. I said, I'm going to call your doctor. Call the doctor. Doc, Dad's talking crazy. He goes, I'd go get him, Eddie. I said, what do you mean? He says, they know. I said, who the fuck is they? He goes, someone who's going to die. He probably has one more day. 3 hours later, that's my dad, being wheeled out of the ambulance into his living room one more time. That's my mom, his wife of 50 years, watching her husband come home one more time. That's the same front door that when I was 5, I would look up and have to know which man was coming through. And all these years later, he comes through, a magnificent man, one more time. Changed thousands of people's lives. And someday, your mom or dad, if they're still here, will have one more day. Someday, you will. Someday you will. You have to ask yourself, in those moments, who do you want to have become? What do you want to have done? What memories do you want to have? What feelings? What emotions? How many people do you... What's your life going to look like? It's coming. That's nothing to be sad about. It's coming. Everything is temporary, including our bodies. It's coming for you. Who do you want to be? What kind of a woman? What kind of a man do you want to be in those final? When you come through that door one last time, what will that life have looked like? What will have you achieved? Who will you have helped? What will you have felt? What will you have seen in your life? Who will be proud of you? Will you be proud of you? This is my dad with one more hour. Don't think about my family, think about yours. Your children, your brothers and sisters, your parents. My dad woke up about 20 minutes after that and he went, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe God gave you to me as my only son. I love you so much. And then he went, and he closed his eyes. That's the same guy who headbutted a man in front of our church. That's the same guy. Completely changed his life. Someday you're going to be holding someone who you love's hand in their last hour. Someday someone's going to be holding yours. Who do you want to be in those moments? Who do you want to be? My dad passed away about 20 minutes later, and I went upstairs, and my mom asked me to pick all this stuff, and I found all these index cards with dates and times on them and birth dates. And what's crazy is I found out later what these were all people my dad had helped get sober. Hundreds of them, because he was in an anonymous program. That's their sobriety birthday. And my dad would call him. Hey Patrick, congratulations, happy birthday. Happy sobriety birthday. Just stay sober for one more day. Just one more day. You know how many times I wanted to quit business and I didn't quit for one more day because of my dad? He'd go, hey, you don't have to decide you're never going to quit. Just don't quit for one more day. I quit drinking for one more day. And he stacked up that over 35 years. I've stacked that up in business over 35 years. I just haven't quit one more day. My dad had a celebration of life, and all these people got up and said, Ed Milet changed my life. Prisoners. This kind man walked across. My dad helped coffee shops, bars. And by the way, my dad's sobriety birthday is 420. Only my dad would get sober on 420. But what happened was one person changed his life, he changed thousands of lives. What qualified my dad to do that was this man who would come through that front door a mess for his family. And then he changed it. And then I paid it forward. I used to say, Dad, who are these people that are rich that live on oceanfront houses? And he goes, I have no idea who they are. They probably stole their money. Maybe they inherited it. And I found out later, when you find a family that's happy and successful, somewhere back in their lineage they weren't. Somewhere back. And then the one shows up. The one in every family changes that family forever. And it's never the one you think it is. It's the shy one. It's the insecure one. It's the Velcro Mercedes one. And they change that family forever. The Milet family the world will never have its thumb on us anymore. The world doesn't push us around anymore. We call the shots in this family now. We think different. We think different because of me. You're the one. Whether you know it or not, you're in this room. You're the one. You're the one. You can be the one. You were born to do something great with your life. You're the one. And it's one decision. Let me prove it to you. This is my son. Let me tell you my little boy. He's now 26'3", so he's not that little anymore. Let me tell you about my son. Most uncoordinated kid in the history of the world, number one. Dad was a Division I college baseball athlete, little professional athlete. Dad's a pretty good athlete. Somehow DNA just didn't get, right? And he's so uncoordinated to this day, standing here, I do not know whether this boy is left or right-handed. I have no idea. That's the God's honest truth. Don't have any idea. He get hit in the face left-handed, right-handed, strike out left-handed, right-handed. He played an entire basketball season and made 2 points because a rebound bounced off his noggin into the basket again. So sports became something I wanted to be fun for my son. Just have fun, Max. Just have fun, Max. We moved to the desert, and where we moved was all professional golfers and their sons. And there's a tour there. My son picked up golf. To be honest with you, played left-handed, right-handed, left-handed, right-handed. Then we started playing tournaments where he just had both hands in his bag. Left-hand, right-handed clubs. And my son and I would caddy, and my son would play, but we would play against pro golfers and their sons who knew what they were doing. They're dressed to the nines. You can see how I dress, right? And my son. And so my son lost every single tournament for 3 years. Dead last. To the point where I would just tell him when he got in the car, I go, hey, you know what? You know Daddy wouldn't love you more if you won. And I won't love you any less if you lose. So let's just have fun. And I did it because I'm busy. I figured 5 hours with my kid on a golf course, it's going to be wonderful. 3 years we'd lose. In fact, when we get home, my wife would never even ask him, how'd you score? The question was always, did you have fun? And we had a lot of fun. My son's such a sweet boy. He would tee off, top one into the lake. That's okay. The other kid would bomb one down. Nice shot, Jacob. Yeah. And they're just looking at him like, you know, the whole concept here is like. So this particular day was a life-changing day and a life-changing moment. I have to say this story quickly. Here's my son warming up. I want you to notice something. He actually has a world-class golf swing. He had no mindset whatsoever because of me. I just let him have fun. I didn't want him to lose and fail. I didn't want him to get hurt. I wanted to protect him because he wasn't very good. But he had this beautiful golf swing. And this day we had played 9 holes and my son was down 11 shots in last place after 9 holes, like he always is. In fact, we were way behind because he was playing so badly. And one of with this tour, you get lunch after 9 holes. You grab and you eat as you go. But this day, the 10th tee box was really far away, like 100 yards away, and the lunches were over here. And one of the dads changed my life and my son's life because he said one of the stupidest things in the history of the world. And he said to the other boys, he said, hey boys, you guys go up to the tee box. Max will grab your lunch for you. He's out of it like he always is, and he doesn't give a crap. And I watch my son's shoulders shrug and start to get their lunch. I'll clean this up because there's probably a lot of Christian folk in here, okay? I said, what the f did you just say to my son? They're all matching golf outfits on. I said, don't you ever speak to my son like that again. It hit me. I said, don't ever talk to my son like that again. I said, you guys go get your lunch. Max, you stay with me. I said, Daddy. And I get down to his level. I said, come here. Come here. Listen to me. Look at me. We're going to win today. We're going to even win. Yeah, Daddy, what about we're having fun? Forget all that crap I said. Max, winning is more fun than fun is fun. We're going to win, and it's going to be fun. Dad, we're down 11 shots. There's 9 holes. I don't give a crap. We're winning. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get specific. We're going to compete. I'll pick the clubs, no practice swings. You hit that damn ball right where I tell you to. Now change your shirt. And he had a shirt in his back. I said, we're putting on this blue shirt. I changed his identity. And I anchored it by touching him. I said, put this blue shirt. Max, you know what we're going to do in this shirt, Dad? He goes, win? I go, yes. I'll get the lunch. I said, hit a 3-wood because he can't hit a driver. So he grabs the 3-wood, and I watch my son walk to the team. I'm watching my precious little boy. I've already yelled at this other dad. I've yelled at my kid. I'm like, I love him so much. Man, he's going to lose, right? And I watch him walk up. They already hit. Hey, Jacob, he was so, he can't even really tee it up. He's like down on the, like trying to put the tee in the ground. And he smacks it right down the pooper, right down the middle. And I watch him. He kind of, I'm from a distance. I get there, go, how'd you hit it? He goes, I hit a good one, Daddy. I go, how'd it feel? I'm touching. We're going to win. We're walking down the fairway. I said, Max, we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Okay, Dad, we're going to win. We get there. I said, hey, Max, 8 iron, 120 yards, hit it head at 10 feet left of the hole. No practice swing. Okay, Daddy. He's up. About 20 feet left of the hole. Good shot. How'd that feel? He goes, kind of twirls the club. Felt good, Daddy. I go, Max, you got a great swing. We're going to win. We're going to win. We get up there. He's got a birdie putt. He's about to putt. I go, Max, line the putt up like the other kids. So he does this BS. Walker looks at it, you know, all right, Dad. No idea what he's looking at. Neither do I. What do you think, Dad? Like 2 feet left to right, downhill? Yeah, man, nail it. Doink. Makes it. Birdie. Yeah! How about that, Max? How about that, buddy? Hey, yeah, Dad. Yeah. I go, hey, they bogey. We're down 9. 8 to go. We're going to win. Okay, Dad. We're walking to the tee box and I noticed something. He went from this to, what's up? What is up? Started to know what it felt like to win. Knows when the next hole's a par 5. Hits a driver down the middle. So do the other guys. There's a lake in front. I say, Max, hit this 3-wood on the green. It's like 220 yards away. He goes, Daddy, that's far. I go, we got to go, man. We're going to win. They both lay up. Max hits his 3-wood in the air. Here's where I go. I'm like, Lord Jesus, I will honor you in every talk I ever give the rest of my life.
Yo, what's up, Neo?
Please,
Neo,
Lord.
You're the one, man.
And the
If
ball
you're a
hits
man,
the
you're the
wall in
one,
front of the
Neo.
lake in front of the green. It hits the wall.
What's up? Welcome. He was just on to talk about being the one, and Neo shows up in the Matrix. Dick was just talking about the Matrix too.
2 inches from the hole. What's up? I'm like, Max, what the hell? Yeah, Dad. I'm like, this feels good, huh? Yeah, I go, winning is more fun than fun is fun, buddy. He gets up, taps in for an eagle. We're down 7. I'll fast forward to 18. We're in second place. We're down 1. Okay? Dumbass and his kid are in first. All right. I said, Max, we're gonna win. Get this thing down the middle.
But I don't understand that question entirely. I don't know. Severe head posture as in it's misaligned. Yeah.
Max, come here.
I don't know. I'm not an expert, my man, or my friend. I'm not an expert. I'm sorry. What I do, I like to stretch. I like to stretch my whole spine. That's what I do. So when I usually have a weight, I have a dumbbell down here. Watch. I stretch my whole spine with like a weight at the bottom where you can grab your ankles. I like doing it after bench press. Like head all the way down. Like check it out.
2 putts we tie and go to a playoff. 3 putts we lose. Now, my dumb ass is at the downhill putt. Max is still doing his ridiculous looking at the ball thing. And I say, hey, Max, this thing's downhill. Don't hit it too hard. We don't want to. My son, who's never even kept score before, goes, Daddy, I'm going to make this. We're going to win.
That's good for the lower back.
And sure enough, takes the putter back. Lord Jesus, every talk, your name will come up. Boom! Makes it. Yoo! Yoo-hoo-hoo! I pick him up, hugging him. We did it, man! We won! We did it, man. He won 23 straight tournaments. Totally changed his life. Why? Why? Winning is infectious. When you start to get momentum and you win in your life begins to change. You begin to change. I'm a different human being than that guy driving the Mercedes. You can be a different woman when you start to decide winning is more fun than fun is fun. I'm going to compete. I'm going to give it all I got. I'm going to go for it. Your life changes. Look at this. Check this out. Here's my son after the tournament. Look at him. Look how happy he is. Right? By the way, I want you to still notice something. Look how damn uncoordinated. No one holds a medal like this, right? You have never seen a photograph.
I don't know what that means exactly, but I'll use dumbbells for my arms. I can show you my routine.
Seen it, right? You can't see it. But look how happy he is. Then look at this. This is about 2 years later. He shot 64, won that day. That's me and him in Cabo 2 years ago. He grew a little bit, right? And then he decides, you know what, Dad? I'm gonna go play college golf.
So this is everything.
Golf scholarship to play in college, right?
This is everything I do every time.
2 weeks ago, he played in his
I do
professional golf
bicep
tournament
curls,
in
bench press, flies, chin-ups for the arms, leg raises, V-sits, L-sits, hanging leg raises, exercise bike, elliptical, walk, and stretch. I'm going to do bicep curl now with a dumbbell. Show you what I do with dumbbells. Thanks for being here.
You truly are. So for you, what's the decision? Is it to go all in? Is it to start recruiting again? Is it to start sowing happiness and love? Is it to be believing in people? Is it to be evangelical about your cause? Is it to make your family proud of you before it's too late? You're one decision away, one speaker away. See, I promised you in the beginning that hopefully your life would be a little better before I was finished. I'm hoping that that's happened. I'm hoping you never forget today. I'm hoping it's changed you. By the way, just so you know, you can go grab my book. There's nothing to sell you. You can go to Ed Milet bonus, whatever. You can pull that down. Go there, you get my book. There's bonuses, videos, and stuff like that from me. Or just go to Amazon and get a book. So I got to finish this thing up. Let me say something to you. Time is running out on you. It's coming. I want you to remember this. Do all the things you don't want to do as fast as you can so you can do all the things you want to do for as long as you can. That's what life's about. See, I'm a person of faith. I think I only cussed once today. I'm not here to preach faith to you. I respect all faiths. I respect if you don't have one. I happen to be a Christian. The reason I say this to you is when I go to heaven, really all I want the Lord to go is, hey, get your ass in here, man. Right? Well done, good and faithful servant. Get in here. Right? So, and I will say, and the first thing I will say to him is, thank you for that 3-wood over the lake hitting the wall. And then double thank you for the putt. Thank you for that putt. But I have another hallucination. I think you get introduced to the woman you were capable of becoming. See, I think God made you in his image and likeness and has a destiny for you and a plan. I think there's a destiny version of you that you've had the sense since you were a little girl. Since you were a little girl, I'm supposed to do something. I'm supposed to feel better. I'm supposed to be happier. I'm supposed to make a difference. Yeah, I know I just think I am. You wouldn't be here if you didn't think that about you. If there was just a glimmer of belief in you, that you belong in your dreams. You belong in your dreams, and it's never too late. It's never too late. And so I think when I get to heaven, the Lord goes, hey, I want to meet you to the man I made you to become, the destiny version of you. And I'm going to go, hey, Ed Milet, I've been chasing you all my life. And I want Ed Milet to look back at me and go, man, I've been watching you. You got off track a bunch of times, but you kept getting me. You kept chasing me. You caught me. You did it. You've had all the moments, all the memories, all the emotions, all the contribution, all the winning, all the love, all the bliss, all the faith. that you could possibly have. You maxed out your life. You did it. To me, that's heaven. That's heaven. Hell is you meet her and you're total strangers. You go, I've been chasing you. I don't recognize you. That's hell. So there's some choices and decisions you need to make. And I'll submit to you the main one is that you will never again surrender chasing your destiny. You'll never again let go of pursuing how great you could be. You'll never let the world tell you you're not special and glorified and beautiful and powerful and amazing in your own way. You'll never again feel disqualified because of things you're ashamed of or mistakes, or you've been average and ordinary so far, or you've been invisible, because you are a woman chasing that destiny version of you. You want to have the ultimate version of heaven someday and catch her. And it's not about a place or amount of money or a destination. It's the chase. It's the chase. It's the chase. And you are born to catch her. I started out by telling you, you were born to do something great with your life. By definition, it's catching that woman. By definition, it's catching that man. My only prayer is that somehow in this hour, we inched you one more inch closer to meeting her someday and you going to heaven. If we did, I'm happy about that. So, my time is done. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless your families. Thank you.
If you really want to be transformed, you have to live an intentional life. This is so simple, I don't want you to miss it. Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. And when you accept your life, you are living on things that are not worthy of your time and effort and energy. Now that's a powerful thesis. Leader understands transformation. They go to a whole new level of their leadership. And now people aren't just following you because you're going to help them be successful. They're following you because their life is being changed.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back to Max Out, everybody. Today it's a real honor for me. I have a friend, but one of my true heroes in my life sitting to my side.
It's a real honor for me, Ed. Thanks for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you, John, so much. This is one of the few interviews I've even been a little bit nervous for. So.
Oh, hey, listen, you're just dealing with an old man here.
An old man.
We're just going to talk about life and enjoy ourselves.
This old man has sold 30 million books in his life, plus.
Well, it's because I'm old.
Give enough time.
You can't sell 30 million if you're a young man.
Quickly.
You understand? You got to be old to do those things.
You also can't sell 30 million books unless they're great. And so he sold 30 million books, everybody. This is somebody who's trained leaders on every country.
Every country.
Every country in the world. He's won numerous awards. He is known as the expert on leadership in the business world. There's multiple publications that have named him as such. And he's got a new book coming out called Leader Shift that we're going to talk about today as well. But I just cannot tell you what a thrill it is for me to have you here today, John. So thank you.
Thank you. And Ed, it's my honor. Thank you. And it's what a great joy for us to talk and enjoy each other and talk about leadership and all the stuff that we love and adding value to people, and have so many people join us. And our goal, obviously, is to add value to you. So hang with us, and hopefully we'll give you some good nuggets and principles that could really help you be a better person and a better leader and add value to others.
No question, we're going to do that. Do you mind? Because I've followed you. People ask me all the time, obviously in my space, what books to read. And I can tell you, I have people I recommend first their scriptures. Second book I always recommend to everybody is Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. And then I say anything by John Maxwell. And that's honestly my answer. If you go to any of my social media posts, it's just,
I'm not worthy.
It's an absolute fact. Is it 80, so many books?
I don't know, it's so much of them. But again, you can't write that many books unless you're old. You'll understand. It all it's tied in with old.
But there's this thing with publishers where they don't want you to keep writing them unless they sell them, unless they're really good.
Yeah, they want you to sell them.
So you're pretty good at that. But I always recommend you. And,
Thank you.
And your books have shaped my philosophies about leadership. They've validated things I hoped were true about being a leader. And I've just learned so much from you. So I know everybody's going to do that today. But I want to know a little about you because I don't know the whole background. So obviously you were a pastor of a church prior to getting into this space, Skyline Church,
yes,
right? In San Diego, California.
I was a pastor for 25 years.
Everybody, they're 25 years pastor. This particular church we're talking, by the way, before the interview,
3 pastors in
70 years.
Is that not incredible?
Yeah, that's a great church. And I was the second one. I followed the founding pastor and loved it because I love to help people.
Yeah.
But I was with my publisher at a meeting, and they said something that just changed my life. They said, John, we've been looking at the people who buy your books. And 2/3 of your books are bought by the business community. And I was totally shocked that I honestly had no clue. Because I was really, as a pastor, kind of writing more to the church community and the religious community. And I said, you're kidding me. They said, no. They said, you've become very popular in the business community because your leadership principles cross right over. And so the business people are going in there and they're grabbing your books to get the principles out so they can lead better. And literally, but now I'm a person of faith.
Yes.
So at that moment, Ed, I really felt God just say to me, and this is where you're going to spend the rest of your life, in the business community. And so I made, literally that day, made preparations to resign my congregation. We were in a major building program, so it took me a couple of years to do it correctly and make sure that they would have success after I left. But literally, that was the day that kind of changed me and had me, I went over to this entirely new area.
That's interesting. So it's a calling on your heart, right?
Definitely.
And there are people that are listening to this, because I get messages from them all the time, that are in something similar, meaning they're in a career that maybe was their first dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this was their dream. They thought this is what they wanted to do. They've gone down the road to a certain extent, but they're feeling this tug on their heart to maybe chase their passion or their mission. What would you say to those people? That had to be a difficult decision. You had all these people relying on you.
Oh, of course. You know? Well, first of all, if you're very successful, whatever you leave, you're leaving something that's very successful. And what I found a long time ago, it's very easy to leave something that's bad. Right. It's kind of like, get out of town.
Thank
you know
you.
what I mean?
Right.
Where's the exit?
Right.
But when it comes to something successful, people say, wow, I mean, I've got to give this up. I mean, this is really good for me. This is really working. In fact, I tell people all the time they need to do an autopsy on success. Because the greatest detriment of tomorrow's success is today's success. Because the tendency is for me when I'm successful, Ed, to hold on to it and say, okay, let's not change anything. We've got the formula, we got it down. We're making some good money. We're helping some people. So let's kind of box it and kind of set it apart and let's keep it just as it is. And of course, that's a disaster. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book Leaderships, is because I wanted to help. I wanted to help people understand that there's no such thing as leading people the same way forever. That you have to keep learning and growing and shifting and making those shifts in your life. But for me, when I made this transition into the business world, what I discovered was, as you were talking a moment ago, you feel the tug on your heart, the kind of like, wow, I started here and now I'm over here. Here's what I believe. I believe that as you follow your dream, it gets bigger. And when it gets bigger, there are more things that you're learning about it that you didn't know when you started. In the beginning, the dream is just it's just very little, and you can kind of see it. So you go that way, but then it begins to expand. And for me, it's a calling. And let me just say this: I'm not trying to be over spiritual, but somebody asked me the other day what a calling was, and I like kind of my new definition for calling. Okay. In fact, in my book, Leaderships, one of my chapters is shifting from career to calling, and how perfect. And how do I make that shift? But I think a calling is a purpose with a divine touch.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I love that. Isn't that good?
Yes,
that sounds terrible, but it is good.
I'm still on it.
It is good. But it's you've got this purpose, but there's a difference thing, and that there's a higher touch. I was doing an interview in our John Maxwell company. We have a simulcast called L2L that goes out to hundreds of sites, and Tyler Perry and I were doing an interview together, and he wrote a book, and I love the title of his book, and that is Higher is Waiting. And I love that. And I think that a calling is you've got this purpose, but all of a sudden, higher is waiting. There's a divine touch on it until all of a sudden you say, okay, this is more than just my purpose. This is our purpose, God's purpose and my purpose together. Beautiful. And you want to talk about a partnership. That's a good partnership.
That's the ultimate partnership.
That's the ultimate partnership.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. See, I'm done. That's what I needed today. Did you grow up? I'm just curious. We're going to navigate in and out of different topics. Did you grow up in your faith? Is that something you were raised with in your household?
Yeah. My father was a pastor.
Your dad was a pastor.
So
too.
yeah, I grew up in a beautiful home. In fact, my father's still alive. He'll be in a couple of days. He'll be 97.
That's incredible.
And
that bodes well for you.
Yeah, it really does. It bodes really well for me. But I was very fortunate. You know, when it comes to parents, I won the lottery. I just, many people, we don't choose our parents.
Right.
But my parents, my mother unconditionally loved me, and my father had this, and still has this incredible drive and entrepreneurship and this kind of largeness about him that constantly expands his world. So as his world was expanding, we were growing up in it, and my world expanded. Yeah. And so I grew up in a leadership culture.
Sure.
I didn't even know what it was as a kid, but
it was your environment.
Yeah, it was just it's what it is. It's what it is.
But
exactly.
And as we shift a little bit, but it is interesting to me because I have people all the time telling me that there's these things that hold them back from chasing that calling that you've described. And I think one of them is, maybe I'm wrong about that, but you grew up in the church, your dad was a pastor, you become one. I'm sure the family was very proud of that, right?
Yeah.
You'd achieved so much.
Yeah.
I imagine that adds to the difficulty that your family was so proud of something you had already been accomplishing. I find people all the time say that one of the things that holds them back is, well, my family doesn't support what I'm about to go do. Do you see that too?
All the time, and I'm glad you brought it up. I wrote a book, I don't know, maybe 8-10 years ago called "Put Your Dream to the Test."
Okay.
And it's just a good solid book. And in it, the kind of the thesis of that book was that the more valid reasons you have to accomplish a dream, the higher the odds are that you will. Now that's a powerful thesis. So there's no cotton candy here. There's no hype stuff here.
Yes.
And so I basically looked at what are the valid reasons to achieve a dream, and there were 10 of them.
Okay.
And so I formed it in a way of questions. But the first question is your dream really your dream? And that's where we started. Because can I tell you something? If your dream isn't really your dream, ain't going to work. And I tell people in this book, hey, the first dream we have isn't our dream. It's our parents' dream. My mom and dad, when I was 7, they thought I was going to be a musician. And so I'd taken piano lessons from 7 years old to about 13. I wasn't any good at piano.
It wasn't your giftedness.
It wasn't my gift, but they're so proud. They go to my recitals and clap. I'm living their dream. I'm playing the piano. I can't play the piano. I'm not very good at it. I'm not gifted, but it doesn't matter. I'm living their dream. Yep. So what I tell people all the time is we start off our life living someone else's dream, probably our parents. So what happens is a lot of people as adults, they never switch.
So true.
And so they're still living someone else's dream. And again, it's like a biblical analogy. It's King, or David before he was king, putting on King Saul's armor.
Yes.
It's not fitting, and he's staggering around there. Well, I know a lot of people, they're putting on someone else's armor, and they just aren't going to achieve because it's not who they are. It's not their dream.
Yeah, that's, by the way, everybody listening, just go back about 1.5 minutes and listen to that again, please, because that is so absolutely golden true. So that was a difficult decision for you, I assume.
It was a difficult decision for me because all I ever knew was pastoring. So let's start there.
Yep.
It wasn't a difficult decision for me as far as knowing where I was going to go.
Yep.
So I think a lot of times we have clarity on where we should go, but there's a lot of emotion that holds us back.
Sure.
And what was holding me back was the fact that this is what I've known, this is what I studied for, this is what my degrees are, I'm a theologian. And so when I made that transition, Ed, I had 3 very uphill, challenging, difficult years because I had to take the principles I taught and I had to address them entirely different.
Sure.
I mean, hey, I can't go in the business community and say, now let's turn in our Bibles.
Right.
And by the way, the worship team, if they'll come on right now, do we have a choir? I don't have any of that stuff.
Sure.
So now I've got to take, now here's what's beautiful. The leadership principles that I teach and write in books, they all have a biblical foundation.
Yes.
But I tell anybody, I said, in case that bothers you, you tell me what your leadership principles are, and I'll tell you where the scripture is.
I love
because
it.
It's all, the greatest leadership book ever written was the Bible. And in fact, I have one of my most wonderful favorite projects was that they asked me to take the Bible and put my leadership lessons in it. And so it's the Maxwell Leadership Bible.
Saw that.
And I'm telling you, Ed, I have probably 800 lessons in that now.
Yes.
And so
All right, I'm done. Thanks for being here.
Here's another lesson that you can apply in
Thanks
your life.
for being here.
But the reason I can do that
Let's do the
all the leadership principles I teach,
what's the
they're
word?
all biblically based and have a foundation for it. So
keep forgetting the word.
now I'm going to a new
Inventory
tribe.
flex. And
So the principles, I got those.
measurement
But
flex.
now I
what?
have to illustrate them different, and I have very little business experience. So what I did, and I think this is what will be really, hopefully this will be helpful to you. Whenever you're making a transition that's kind of out of your,
Thanks for being here. We had a great workout.
or certainly
Thank you, new chat,
brand new
Neo
like this one,
700X.
I ask a lot of questions and I listen. And so I just sit down with people like you that are highly successful in business, and I say, okay, let me ask you some questions. And I go and I ask you questions I learn from.
It was a good
them,
day.
take a lot
Tune
of
in
notes,
Thursday.
and I pull away.
Dick
So,
and I
okay,
were
this
going
is
to
how Ed did it. This is
do a
what
workout
Ed
stream
thinks.
live.
Oh, I
All right.
think I could apply this there.
Peace out.
And I spent 3 years
Thanks for being here, Dick, and
humbling
everybody.
myself and being
Sour
very
Sash, everybody,
teachable and
workers.
saying,
Thank you.
I just want to learn.
Pleasant
I just want
hostage.
to learn. Because I knew that I had the leadership principles. But principles that are good without application or connection are principles that aren't going to work for anybody. So as a communicator, I know that, so a lot of people, they say, well, I've got this great idea. Doesn't matter if you can't communicate the great idea, it isn't going to go anywhere. So I knew that now I had to connect, I had to communicate. And so I'm asking a lot of questions, and it took me about 3 years to get my rhythm, but I got it.
Yeah, obviously.
And today, today I love the secular business world because it gives me a chance to add value to them. It gives me a chance at times to be salt and light in their lives, and yeah, it's a really good thing.
Amazing. Who thinks the guy leaving that church ends up becoming the most prolific, successful business leadership author of all time?
It makes no sense.
It's pretty incredible. I think what you said is really true, though, because I think first off, that dream starts a certain size and grows. The other thing, I talked about this with yesterday. Somebody, I think you'll agree with me on this. Also, the path to getting there will reveal itself as you go. I think oftentimes people think I have to know every single step in order to get to this ultimate vision.
Come on.
And it doesn't work that way, right? You have to get it revealed to you.
It only works that way in a book.
Yeah, right.
Because what I tell you, see, here, what's this? I'm responsible, Ed, to move on what I see today. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of people, they're wanting to hold and not move because they don't see 3 days, 5 days, 2 years out, whatever. And what I'm saying is, it's kind of like the lights of a car. If I go to the parking lot at night, turn on the lights and say, oh my gosh, I can't go where I don't see my house. Well, no. Get in the car and start moving in the direction you're supposed to move. And guess what? You only get about 300 feet of light.
Right.
You don't get 7 miles of light. You don't get to see your house. You've got to utilize the light you got so that you can get to where you want to go. And so many people, they're uncomfortable with that light because it's not long enough. And what's around the corner? And the whole issue is you don't know what's around the corner until you go around the corner.
Oh gosh, that's so good.
And so so you have to be very comfortable, which I am. You have to be very comfortable with traveling, not having all the answers.
So true.
But can I tell you something? The only way you get all the answers is to go all the way through.
Absolutely.
You don't get all the answers on this side. And so if I've got to have it lined up and straight and